Hey, good morning, kitty cats. How's it? Oh, shoot. Oh. Hey, good morning, kitty cats. How's it going? All right, what is it? It's July 10th. Down on the boat. It's mostly ready to go. Let me start out by showing you I got two National Geographics today. That's my lunchtime reading. I'm in 1992, India's Wildlife Dilemma, and the struggle of the Kurds. So I'm really enjoying that. That's my little attempt to sort of, get off of my phone and stay in a psychologically safe spot. But I think we're always info grazing a little bit. We're looking for something to kind of keep our mind open, or I'm assuming other people are. That's what I do. I engage my mind more so than just let it wander. It wanders in between and sort of digests information. I'm also finishing a book called Modern Monetary Theory by Stephanie something or other. She's making the rounds. It's interesting. I enjoy studying economics from time to time. It's kind of a strange, complex, like social art form masquerading as a science, but it gives you a different idea of experiencing the world, and it occupies your mind. Usually, at least it occupies my mind in a way that is not redlining. I tend to not emotion dump on it too much. I can kind of keep a distance from it. I find that harder with politics, which is really important. I mean, I think that it is our obligation to act politically at some point. It's very, very difficult to do. And stay loving and kind and stay in our open mind where we're able to receive new information. Anyhow, so modern monetary theory, kind of interesting. Maybe a little bit, I don't know if I buy the whole thing totally, but I mean, I'm just basically working on my understanding of economics. I used to believe more in sort of a Austrian economics kind of model where you have this rational actor and these functional marketplaces which can show more efficiency than the state could, which is okay, that's one way to look at it. I don't know if I buy that anymore. Right? I mean, after the shutdown and stuff, my intuitive understanding of the marketplace seems to have been challenged. Now, one thing I do like, you guys, is I like to have my assumptions challenged, kind of blown out of the water. That's a little thing that I prefer. That's a little mindset that I'm trying to find. Just something where I'm able to look at things through a fresh light. I'm not sure why I find that rewarding, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. When I go into politics, I end up really falling more into sort of, where my current ideas are a part of my identity, and I just want to defend them, and, I sort of get really drunk on confirmation bias and stuff, where we're like, I'm just protecting an idea as opposed to chewing on it and spitting it out. Anyhow, but here's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, and that is how value is allocated in society, and how, I'm just going to say this right now, I'm going to try this on, is the myth of meritocracy. So there's myth of meritocracy, which is that you get what you deserve because you offer a good or a service, and then through this efficient, fair marketplace, you end up with like with your just desserts. And I don't know, I just think that's crazy. Like, I mean, if you think about, like, somehow, like, there's some Somali guy living in the middle of nowhere, does he just have to, like, is his destiny tied to his work ethic? I mean, again, like, the idea of personal responsibility is a wonderful way to perceive and make choices in your own life, for sure. But when you look at how systems work, the idea that you gained your place in society, especially when it comes to the power that you have other people. I think that a lot of times that is a moral and an intellectual cop-out. I don't know how far down this Marxist hole I want to fall right now, because everybody does have their challenge, whether you're like a multimillionaire or whether you're like somebody that's less, that is a lower inside of the power structure in the economic system. So I mean, everybody has to kind of make that walk, which is both like a walk with intelligence and morality and charity and selfishness, and so I don't want to dismiss all the effort that people put into their lives. We all have to drive our own life, but I do think the idea that we think that you worked harder or smarter than the next person is the reason why very possibly you have power over them. And I'm loving these National Geographics because there's lots of weird, I can think of one example right now. I saw an ad for South Africa. Okay, I got nothing against South Africa. Meet a lot of Southers and they're cool, right? But this is and it was pre-apartheid. I think it was like the mid 70s, what it was, and it said, come and see the art that inspired Picasso. And it had a picture of, some like mud dwelling with stuff that basically looked like Picasso on it. And here you have a gift to humanity. Here you have something that we consider has made us richer as a species. Humanity is better off because of Picasso. I saw him in Boston. I saw his stuff. It's actually pretty mind-blowing stuff. But how much is a Picasso worth? And think about that, and think about who gained economic power and therefore power over other people over something that was clearly existed before him. And I do love the idea of cultural transfer. I mean, I love that. I love that when we switch and we change cultures, and I don't know the answer to that. But the idea that there's cultural larceny and or what do they call it? Cultural appropriation. I would love for us to share things. I would love for us to be able to, I love the idea of like exchanges of ideas and cultures. But what we can note is that certain segments of society outside of skill and merit got much reward over something. Like in this case, it's a style of art form. So that's just a way to kind of, I think it's a way that helps me think more humbly and more lovingly, because the idea with meritocracy is you look at the poor as weak or immoral, and you look at the wealthy as like good and strong and smart, and I just don't think that holds water all the way down. I don't know if that's the way for us to think. And so we can look and we can see what is gaining value in the marketplace as opposed to what has value in the short term or in the long term for humanity. All right, and so one of the things I didn't necessarily like about the modern monetary theory was that when they were talking about childcare, and childcare is valuable for a lot of different ways, but it's not necessarily reflected in the marketplace. And in modern monetary theory, they thought we can basically print money and create like childcare centers. And it's just not my view of how I would like the world to go. I think we can note that one of the more important jobs is raising our children, teaching them, caring for them, nurturing them. It is an amazingly important job, and it is undervalued in the marketplace. So very, very undervalued in the marketplace. What I see, how you guys doing? Good. So what I see is, while we're going through this crazy revolution of work, and it's been ongoing for a long time, maybe we need to like create some market efficiencies to where one or both of the child rearing units, whoever they may be, those parents have the freedom to dedicate their time and their resources to that very, very, very important job, as opposed to serving the marketplace. You know, like we're like, okay, we want both caregivers to exercise their time in a value creating marketplace and neglecting one of the most fundamental human experiences that allows for the flourishing of our species. So in my mind, like while we're sitting there and talking about opening schools and commuting from home, or working from home, shipping kids off, because now they're saying we need to open the schools because our society as it is currently arranged, we need to get back to school. And I'm thinking that very possibly if you're doing that, you're sort of maybe falling into a normalcy bias, and that I would at least like to see a freedom to where we can raise our children in a way that is the most healthy for both our families and ourselves, and for society at large in the long term. I believe that. So when we're talking about childcare and we're talking about sending kids back to school and we're talking about commuting, let's look for a way for anybody that wants to, that doesn't put on their Facebook like, man, now that I'm hanging out with my kid at home, I'm so thankful for my teachers. Look, I'm super thankful for my teachers. Like that, my son's teachers, some amazing teachers, but I don't hate my child. I mean, he drives me crazy and stuff like that, so I get that. But I am overwhelmingly joyed that I get to spend time with him. It is some of the highest, best use of my life, just like taking care of your elderly family. Spending time with your family is an important part, and raising your children. So think about how what we need, how value is allocated, and as we rethink society in this dramatic pause, that maybe spending time with your children, like those genetic offspring, is a worthy goal for us to have, for us to seek out in this time of change. I'm not saying women should stay at home. I think we can, maybe somebody doesn't want to do it, but I would love for that choice to be more on the forefront of a possibility, instead of having both caregivers, or both, people whose ultimate goal is to take care of their children, serving the marketplace and where that money goes. Okay, hopefully I articulated a thought that I had in my head in a way that was somewhat engaging and made some sort of sense. If you made it to this video, man, I really appreciate it. If you want to leave a comment, I will grudgingly and frighteningly take tips, because I am trying to figure out how to articulate beautiful, wonderful thoughts and communicate with other people in this time where we can't hang out. So, all right, you guys, peace out, love you. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.